Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bat Community Call for Tuesday, March 12th, 2024. Hope you all are doing awesome. Having a good week. Belladonna, good to see you. Good to see all of you. Let's give folks maybe a minute or two to show up too. Been a exciting week, past couple week or two, but bull market's back. Feels good.
17, all right?
What's that?
23 plus 17.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It could be either.
It's definitely dollars. I'm
I agree.
seeing it now.
Awesome. See, we got Sherelle here too. How's it going, Sherelle?
Good. How's everybody doing today?
Good. What's new with you?
Just working through some ad stuff.
Never ends. In a good way. Cool. So yeah, we a lot going on. I think one cool thing we added Brave Leo on Android last week, which was pretty awesome to see. I don't know if y'all have tried that out. I think I got some feedback from a few of you, which was awesome. We what did I do? Oh, last week it's been kind of a blur. So we did East Denver. We talked about that last week. Then last Friday, I did a crazy kind of turn and burn trip. I went to the Cube Exchange headquarters in Chicago, which is pretty rad. They're like a new exchange that's kind of got a bit more transparent of a model, where you can actually see, wallet addresses and whatnot. And Barthoz, the founder, we actually worked with him when he was at another company in the Wallet Partner Program before. And so we had a good powwow with their team, but it's neat. Their headquarters is pretty big, and they're having a bunch of other Web3 companies just come and work from their headquarters, which was kind of cool. So I met a bunch of other projects there while I was there, and everybody was telling a lot of them about the on-chain settlements that we've got going with Solana, and about a bunch of the other work we have going, and people are super excited about that. So it was a good trip. We're doing a bunch of advertising with them. We're on Brave internationally, so folks in the U.S. won't see it, but covering a lot of ground internationally with them, and other discussions too. I can't really get too deep on right now, but it was a good trip, and met a lot of really cool projects out there, and got a bunch of good meetings out of that too. I see Jenny's here too. How's it going, Jenny?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's your week so far?
So far, so good. Busy, but yeah, it's going.
Excellent.
Yeah.
You want to kick us off on the updates?
Sure. Yeah. I think we have a pretty light one today. And I believe it's only Batern and I here presenting. Guillermo, Drew, and Paula couldn't make it to this one. So yeah, we're just going to run through and hopefully not take up too much time. So kicking off, I am not going to be sharing any referral stats updates this week, or social media growth stats update. I think we did that last week, and the referral stats 2 weeks ago. Referral stats have slowed down a little bit just because there was a little break in events, but we're kicking off again with ambassador events this month. There's actually a couple things going on. in March and April that we're really looking forward to and that we think will probably drive lots of referrals. So we should have an update, a significant update on that in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, we're just going to dive into some community highlights. So this monstrosity of a Google Sheet, which I have a screenshot of in the slide here, is a sheet that Bows put together, which we now share directly with our wallet team and also some other devs and engineers on the Brave team from working on other things have access to this sheet. And this is a place where if you have feedback on the Brave wallet, or you've discovered a bug, or anything that there's a feature that you'd like to see in the wallet that we don't have. And actually, this is not just for the wallet. We have separate tabs for different features. We have a tab for feedback on self-custody rewards on Solana. We have a tab for Brave VPN, search, et cetera, et cetera. And, of course, we have our support forum, community.brave.com, where everybody should go if they discover bugs in the browser that they want to report. But for this group here, you all are, our most engaged users, and we're able to get you like a bit of a more direct line to the team. So if you do have any feedback on the wallet or any other features that you've been using in the browser, BAT related or otherwise, you can contact Bows and he can pop it in this doc. And yeah, we've been able to get some wallet issues resolved pretty quickly with this. Sort of direct line of communication between the community and the team. It's been really good so far. So we want to keep utilizing it. And if you have anything that you want to report or features you'd like to see, like I said, contact Bows and he can get it in here for you. And also shout out to Bows for putting this together. It's an amazing initiative. And yeah, it's great to see the team and the community collaborating in one place and, getting bugs fixed and all of that. So well done, Bows. Okay, moving on. There are a bunch of karate combat events coming up in the next several months that Brave will be sponsoring. Again, we'll be on the arena like we have been for the past several events. There are some pretty exciting ones coming up. On the 22nd of March, there's the Kickback 2 event in Cancun, Mexico. On April 20th, there's an event in Dubai, and that's taking place alongside Token 2049. And at the end of May, there is another one in Austin happening within Consensus. So we will be doing watch parties on Brave Talk with the BAT community for all of these. And, we'll have live fight commentary from Crypto Dojo, our BAT ambassador, whenever he's available to do that. We'll always have, the chat and the voting happening. We'll always have a POAP and BAT and Karate Combat, BAT and Karate, #karate prizes for anyone who participates. So stay tuned for the announcements and the links for those, but they're coming soon. We're really excited. Hope you guys are too. And then, yes, just wanted to put another reminder out there that if you are not yet testing self-custody rewards on Solana and you would like to, come find me on Twitter or Discord, and I can get you on the whitelist. We're still, in the early, the early access invite only rounds, and we've done a few rounds of invites, and yeah, we would love to have everybody on this call helping us, test the new features. So if you're not on the list yet, like I said, reach out to me and get you on the list and get you testing. And then last thing, something I've been working on this week with Paula and Drew and Crypto Dojo, Scott from Ambassadors. We're working on a little video project for Marshall Rose and the marketing team around an upcoming launch. You'll see more of this soon. Hopefully it turns out well, but yeah, we're working on that this week. So I just wanted to give you a little screen cap of what's to come. But yeah, I think that is it for me. And I'm going to hand it off to Battern.
Hello. I hope everyone's doing well. Yeah, it's my ambassador update for this week. In the picture, we've got Stan, the man himself. He installed Brave on someone's car radio so they can listen to YouTube without the adverts. Speaking of him, he started doing a campaign in Kenya at an outdoor event which should hopefully drive up some referral stats for next week because he is an absolute machine. As pointed out, there's a lot of FOMO for the on-chain battle awards across like all the platforms. Everyone seems really keen to get involved with that. Coming on this Friday, we'll start using Brave Talk as a backup for Spaces. Like have it ready there to go because it started off as an inside joke, and every week it'd mess up, and I'd be like, "Why don't we use Brave Talk?" But we should just use, when we're promoting the space, we should just promote Brave Talk at the same time, and then have it ready to go when it inevitably does break.
Yeah, and for the record, it's not us messing up. Twitter Spaces, Spaces has a lot of bugs. It seems there's always somebody who, they're frozen, or they can't unmute their microphone, or they can't hear, or everyone has robot voices. So we are just going to start being smart and having a Brave Talk link ready to go. We did this a couple of weeks ago with one of the guests where we were getting rugged by Spaces, and then we ended up moving to Brave Talk, and it ended up being great. Everybody joined us there, and so many people were like, wow, I'm a Brave user and I didn't even know that you had this feature. This is so cool. It's my first time using Talk. Love it. So it's a fun little marketing little marketing vehicle too.
Yeah, fun.
It's cool too. I like those tweets. I think Belladone's doing them where like they're live streaming from the tweets from Talk. I think it's awesome.
This is just a bit of a random shout out here, but I'm just looking at Aranyaka's profile today. I'm just thinking how damn good it is. It's like the perfect example of a bat ambassador. Like his profile picture, the way he's got like his referral thing just in the middle, like the whole arrangement. He's been doing like weekly text recaps of these calls, which is good because not everyone has the time to turn up and listen to us all ramble for an hour. B, even if it is recorded, not everyone has the time for that. But just to be able to read it all, in a couple of minutes, it's really good. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, and not only that, but the recordings of these calls are sometimes really long. Like they go for an hour, a little bit longer. Aranyaka's summaries have been really good because they're just bullet point, sort of like short paragraph long summaries. So if you ever miss the call, but you're like, oh man, I don't have to skip through the whole recording, you just follow Aranyaka and check out his summaries.
It's going to be recapception this week, or it's the recap about how he does the recaps. So we've got Council Sage is finally going ahead this Friday. It's going to be at 9 p.m. GMT or 5 p.m. EST. Meetings being hosted on being NFT gated on Brave Talk, so only Sage holders can come. I've met with Marshall this week, so I've got a direct line to him. So anyone who has any problems with getting in, get in touch with me beforehand, and we'll get it sorted. I think it's a key thing that we have it NFT gated, but it has to work perfectly. But now we have the ability to make sure that's done.
Love it.
All right. Thanks, Battern. That's awesome. So Drew couldn't make it today, but I wanted to just say on his behalf that last week there was a Twitter space scheduled with Zelo Finance, but like I said, we got rugged by the Twitter, and actually there were just a lot of issues, and I wasn't there for that one, but it apparently didn't end up working out. Couldn't move people over to Brave Talk for whatever reason. So that one is being rescheduled. Sorry about that for anyone who was looking forward to it, but it will be rescheduled. This Friday, we have a space on X with VeChain, which that also was rescheduled from a couple weeks back. And this connection to VeChain was made through Scott, that ambassador. So thank you, Scott. We look forward to that. And then Drew is working on some partnerships and ways to promote that, but he will elaborate on all the cool stuff he's been working on when he's here next week. All right. And then I think Guillermo as well is not here, but I will say on his behalf, I'm struggling today with speaking, but Echo, the second issue of our NFT magazine
Uh-oh. Was that just me?
No, it was me too.
Oh, First rug by Elon, then rug by Talk.
Want to
Hey,
receive a
Jenny,
copy? Yeah.
can you rewind that a little bit at the start of the Echo slide? Because I think we lost you for about 30 seconds there.
Oh, that's a long time to lose me.
Maybe 20 seconds. Maybe 20 seconds. I don't know.
Okay. Yes, issue number 2 of Echo NFT Magazine, which is a community created experimental NFT project, is dropping on Drip House on the 24th of March. And all you have to do to receive it is basically subscribe to Drip House. You can just Brave search them, connect your wallet, sign up. They do these droplets that happen every couple of days, maybe even every day, I'm not sure. But basically you get free NFTs to your wallet. And Echo is very special because it's an NFT magazine. So it contains contributions from a bunch of our ambassadors. There are, think pieces. In this case, there's Web3 game reviews because the topic of this issue is Web3 gaming. So there are, game reviews, subtle little Brave ads in there, bunch of cool stuff. And we sourced content from, like I said, the community, ambassadors, and also some gaming partners of ours. So it's going to be really cool. There's also a lot of great art in there. Definitely recommend scooping it up. And there may be some cool quests coming down the pike in the future for Echo NFT holders. So get on it. Oh, and I think that's it. We're also working on, Guillermo covered last week, but we're also working on getting some new creative designs from Guillermo onto the merch store. So stay tuned. Having a couple meetings about that next week, and we should have some cool stuff up there shortly that Guillermo designed. So yeah, thanks everybody. That's it for us.
Thanks. Cool. That was great. Looking forward to a bunch of the stuff. The Sage Council thing will be fun. And I'm looking at chat, and then B. Kurt asking, Bat can officially migrate to Solana, and BonkBet is entirely possible. Luke Bonk is only there to support the Solana. Yeah, and Bat is on. I think Bat will stay in ERC20 natively, but the idea here is like we can wrap Bat, put it elsewhere too, like wherever folks want to scale utility. But I think we're on BonkSwap, which is super cool. I think Drew and some other folks helped us get there through the community, and Carlos too, for that matter. We're on. We have pools like a Bat USD Bat Solana pool on there. We actually talked to them last week too, or earlier this week, about some stuff. So excited to see where that goes. But yeah, I think that we're looking to do a lot more in the Solana ecosystem since we have rewards coming on the way, and are getting pretty integrated there. That was part of some of the stuff at Cube was meeting other folks in the ecosystem and having some good conversations around stuff we can do with Bat, and but also re-engaging with those wallet partners too. That's great. Let's see here. But we'd love ideas too from you guys. If there's like other things you want to see us do, let us know. We'll let it rip. I'll open it up to questions too.
I've got a bit of a question.
Yes, sir.
I know it's the endless when, you get one when and then it's the next. Now that we've got the on-chain kind of rewards, do you reckon we could possibly get on-chain referrals back?
Possibly. I mean, I think we're talking about a couple different things. One thing we're looking at are basically like doing, whether it's referrals for users or even for things like advertisers too. If you have friends that or whatever that you want to, connections that you want to help to refer over for new business too, like we're considering something like that as well. But I think we're definitely want to do more. Like, so much growth came from that referral program, and like you all are such killer advocates for like what we're doing that we want to involve the community on that front. I think right now a lot of focus on getting as many people phased in as we can through these groups.
Yeah, but it was really good before, like when we had the referrals. But I can see the system was gamed a bit. But it'd be good to find a way to not do that.
It's up to you. Like part of it, it's like a mixed blessing too, because then you see like there'll be a cohort of folks that go ham on it and then like start to like dump BAT too, which is not great. So it's kind of like a mixed thing, but then again, it's a different scenario right now where like so much of the supply is circulating now. It's kind of a different dynamic than it was before. And we have like self-serves on and other things are happening now that were not around back then.
Like, I think one of the main differences in the meta now is that everyone's kind of clocked on to like inflation. Like, okay, everyone gets the whole Bitcoin is like there's only like 21 million of them. But I think the same's applied to all the other coins as well now. You know,
Yeah.
there's only going to be so many BAT.
Yeah, I know. Well, and I think like it's one of those things where you can see like potential line of sight because I mean, Chrome's got, 2.65 billion users, right? There's only 1.5 billion beds. Easy for people to see potential with this, where, the addressable audience is pretty big within this space. I think people think browsers are different. I mean, browsers are kind of a different product too, where they're just ubiquitous and out there. And so, a lot of pretzeling or whatever. I'm seeing too, there's questions about like the BAT buy. So I service this internally. Right now we're working on kind of getting, I'm pinging them on when we're going to see those on the page. I am waiting to hear back on that. But I think one thing we're also doing right now too is working in a way that we can show BAT buys from self-serve on the transparency page too. And working with the web team on how we can surface that up too, because we actually had our biggest self-serve month last month. We had basically doubled the revenue on self-serve, and I think we're up to like 21 advertisers have signed up so far, which is like a huge jump from January. I think we're at like 12 or 13 or something like that. And so we're working on a bunch of things around that too. One thing we're kicking on is potential around offering a program for these new buyers in Ads Manager to be able to buy up those new tab takeover units like directly and kind of automating the process a bit there and giving them like opportunities to get like last minute buys and stuff, which would be fun and like a really strong thing, because I think one thing we noticed that we've been doing a lot of like looking back because the market's been turning. And so part of, if we're smart, what we're doing is looking at what customers were doing in the last run and how what was successful and what wasn't. And so we've been looking back on a lot of campaigns that we've run in the past. And one thing that stands out big is that, Brave's in a really good position, like with our audience, to help drive growth for like startups and entrepreneurs and folks that really want growth. And so I think we're going to be working on the narrative for self-serve, like Ads Manager, to kind of really focus in on that cohort, because we can do things like offer them up, new tab takeovers that we haven't sold or that have fallen through at like a discount or something, and get more opportunistic buying in there too. So there's some stuff going on there. And then I met with the lead on search ads, who's also working on getting search ads into self-serve too. That'll probably be later this year, but they're making some progress on that right now, which is awesome. So it's kind of an update on the self-serve stuff. I hope that's helpful. Let's see here. Has the Brave team contacted Solana Mobile to get more fanfare for the V2 and Brave browser? So we've reached back out. We're working on getting a discussion going with them on this second one. But I think we were kind of blocked by some of the Google stuff before, but maybe there's room to move on it now. All right, let's open up for more questions. Anybody? Anyone? Wow. Dotson.
So this is not really necessarily a question, but it's more of a suggestion. So
Yeah.
I've been on the past couple spaces where we keep getting rugged, and then we have to move to Brave Talk and so on and so forth. I remember the Zcub one with Zcash was a pretty successful transition. I ended up streaming that one to Twitter, and the numbers were actually pretty good. So I've been thinking maybe we should just move that, like make that like the actual like program where we just like we do the actual like meeting on Brave Talk, and then just stream it to Twitter using like the the live feature, because
Yeah.
it, like generally speaking, it is a better conversion than regular spaces, because the algorithm still like promotes it more. And then if we we should be able to do it from like the actual like account. It like it doesn't have to be Belladon or me doing it, but we just have to plug it in, and then we can promote the actual stream on the actual account, and then everyone can help promote it and retweet it or whatever, and so on and so forth. I'm just thinking maybe that's we should just do that like going forward, as opposed to hoping Elon doesn't rug us and then jump in over and then da da da.
I agree. I think that's a good idea. I know we've talked about kind of live streaming it before, and some folks have tested it out, and it's worked. And I think having it from the main accounts too, whether that's if it's BAT related from the BAT account or if it's whatever. I mean, like I think it's a really good idea, like to do that. It would be helpful, and people know where it's coming from too. It's a good idea. Good suggestion. Jenny, maybe we can talk about that tomorrow or something. Yeah, Desert Crypto asks, would it be possible to do it on Brave Talk and then just restream it on other platforms? That's kind of what I think. What I was kind of seeing too, like from that. I know you could do that on YouTube. I think you could do it on X now that they let you do that on X. I don't know though. I'd love to have us do that.
Yeah, the way the software works from OBS is you could pretty much just plug in the key and the source to like everywhere. You could do it on multiple accounts on Twitter. You could do it to Twitch or YouTube or whatever. You could just like someone can just host the OBS stream, and then anyone with the source and the key can just like stream it anywhere. So it'll be a good way to promote Brave Talk, and then it will also like just generally be like more successful, because streaming does get like pushed more by the algorithm than like a regular space. For sure. And I think like we could even record them too, like from that stream too. And I think it would probably be a good idea. Makes a lot of sense. We could have the space on here and have multiple people. So that's a good idea too. I mean, like I love this. I mean, like I think that these issues with spaces just keep coming up, and like having a more stable solution for it's a good idea. For sure. Cool. Good suggestions, guys. Anybody else have any? What else do you guys want to talk about? Or who has a question? Bows.
Any tidbits from your meeting with the Cube Exchange?
Yeah, it was cool. Like, I mean, I feel like I got like fully immersed over there. Like, we did a podcast interview. They're trying to pump out a lot of content, which I thought was kind of cool. So I think I did a interview with their CTO. I don't know where it's going to get streamed or whatever, but I'm sure they'll tell me. And then I got a walkthrough of the platform. Like they're doing it's super fast, like really, really fast. And they're doing like bundled trading and a bunch of other things that are pretty cool. They have like a equalizer feature that was interesting. But it's kind of like filling a void, I think, that was left behind with when FTX fell through. Whereas, like, I mean, if you look at like the exchange space right now, like Coinbase is kind of looking like Google was with programmatic, where they're just really hitting on all cylinders and hitting different areas of the ecosystem. It's cool to see somebody like Cube kind of coming up. They don't have a ton of like regional support for like the US or a lot of Western, or some Western Europe actually, but like UK, I don't think it's supported. Canada, I don't think it's supported yet. But they're working on it. I think we're going to help them. Like they're coming on as an advertising customer. We're going to help them grow. We're talking to them about getting BAT on the exchange, Solana wrap BAT on the exchange, and opportunities there. And it dug in really deep with their marketing team too on like how we can dig in and really optimize things to help them out as customers. And so that was pretty good. But yeah, generally though, I think like it was cool to be in a place where there's a lot of like startup energy and a bunch of different project teams all under one roof. And everybody made us feel pretty welcomed. And, you know, I don't know, there's always that startup spirit here with Brave and BAT, and now that we're at the scale that we're at, the fact that we can help other startups grow is like super exciting to me. I mean, obviously, like to the point where I think we should make our whole like marketing strategy around self-serve, around helping to grow startups to have products, because you know, finding that fit is hard, and our audience tends to really like it. So it was a great, it was a super short trip. I left the Bay Area at like, you know, 7:45 on Thursday, and I flew out of Chicago on 8:30 on Friday. So it was like a really quick trip, but it was a good one, and we'll be heading back out there too. So I definitely keep an eye out for what they're doing. It's a sharp team and working fast, and I think, you know, there's like, you're not going to have exchanges go away, right? Like they provide a service for folks that on-ramps are like trying to get better, but on-ramps into self-custody are still hard. And you know, the thing I like about Cube is that they have they're kind of orienting as if, okay, well, if we had a second chance to do this better than the exchanges that are out there, like here's what it could look like, and you know, having better transparency over, you know, the accounts, and building in, you know, better safeguards to avoid like what happens at Coinbase, where all of a sudden the prices are gone or whatever. These types of things, it's like addressing pain points in that ecosystem. I haven't had a chance to use it directly, but what I'm seeing is pretty rad, and the founder there is really cool and wants to work with us on a bunch of different things. And so, you know, I'm excited for where that's going. And just for having more competition in the space is helpful. And it's good vibes for sure. Is there anything specific on that? I met those guys at Mutai too. I don't even know, but like there's memes with BAT and Mutai floating around. I guess it's like a Chinese alcoholic beverage or whatever that they.
It's like expensive Chinese liquor.
Yeah, I've never tried it, but I was there and the dude was there and we hit it off. It was awesome, and now people are making memes about it. So let it rip. It's Nam too. Nam, shout out to Nam. He's like really gone ham on the memes.
Does Brave have like anything in place to try like make sure that their wallet will be compatible with like whatever like the kind of like hot item of the day is, so to speak, or where it will at least self-discover any of the big upcoming airdrops? Because I know that's kind of been an issue I've encountered more lately since I've actually managed to get some airdrops, and like sometimes it's kind of like, well, you can get around it sometimes by like importing your wallet into another into MetaMask or something, which I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. Or you know, sometimes it's something you can just add in, but sometimes even then it can be a little bit of a hassle to figure that out, or to even check if you have like, if you're getting the airdrop, sometimes you need to go to a site and it's like they only support Brave Wallet, or
yeah,
or you want to do staking, but the site again doesn't support the Brave Wallet.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. There's a couple things related to that. Like one, like I've been talking with James and Carlos has been too. For what it's worth, we've both been kind of tag teaming to talk to him about this around like can we get the tricky part. I mean, there's a I think I saw a stat recently was showing like something like over 6,000 SPL tokens have been introduced this year so far, some ridiculously large number. I think the challenge is like, how can we, and this is what I surfaced to James too. I'm like, look, can we make it so that the token lists are like whatever the refresh rate is on that, like how often are we updating it? Can we have it update faster? Because the thing that we're seeing is exactly what you mentioned, where, you know, the user that's using the wallet has a need to be up to date on what's new. And like those token lists are updating are a really important part of that. So we service that up to the team, and they're working on looking into that too, so we can get faster discovery and refresh rates, things like that. I think there's a separate item around the airdrop checking, and that's something that's come up internally too, just because airdrop season. I know the team's looking into that. I'm not sure how far they are on it, but I think that the discoverability of the tokens list or the updates on that is probably the more pressing thing, to just make sure that like we're listing new stuff that's there, because nobody wants to have to like keep updating it manually or asking the team where these things are, right? Like so there's that part, and then the airdrop part could be awesome too, because I mean, like for retention, right, like purposes, having that built into the wallet would be a great addition too. And then we're also working with like Bandit too on things like promoting quests and stuff, because I think, you know, we talked about this on a couple calls before, but you know, some airdrops are getting promoted with quests, and others are just dApp developers trying to get quests for things. If you could earn BAT from those quests, like makes a lot of sense to get those in and promoted. So I think these things are all interesting. You know, what we've got, you know, Bitcoin added. I think they're working on that with mobile. There's a couple other things that are there, but these things are important around the list updates and those types of things too. And that's like also, I know we got you a shout out earlier for the wallet feedback doc, but like it's super awesome that you're doing that, Bows, and the team really appreciates it too. Like getting this feedback. I mean, I know I was kind of harping on it for a while to like get it consolidated, but like it's been hugely helpful to have it in one spot like that, because like you guys are using this all the time, and like the feedback you guys give us is like quality feedback, and I want to make sure the team's getting it, and they are getting it now, and it's really helpful. So I really appreciate you asking these questions, and also like everybody else too that's contributing to the feedback. That I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Yeah, I think one of the things that makes it different this time than before is like kind of way it's shared. Is a little bit different, because like even if we prepared documents before, usually it just kind of went through you versus like straight to team members. So I think that's like really helped with it.
Yeah.
As well. I mean, I guess as far as like adding new tokens, like, because I get what you're saying. It's not like you want to have suddenly, you know, 1,000 random tokens worth a penny or less show up in someone's wallet. But I mean, there could be some options as far as like new token value and wallet over X amount, tokens market cap over Y amount, then showing the wallet, or some, you know,
Yeah.
to search the list itself to do some annual ads. Because I mean, like I don't care if I know airdrop's coming that I'm expecting to get. Like I don't mind going into the settings and just searching for it if that would be an option to be able to add that way.
100%. I think there's a mix of it, like where it's like even if it's not showing up, it should be searchable, right? And I think where we've seen it is that when we try to like search for things, sometimes it's not even there, right? So there's like kind of this like waterfall of like, well, make sure it's at least searchable, right? Like, and how quick are you updating that list, right? But also like there's a different like strategy around, okay, how are we adding so much stuff that it just is like junk? What are good approaches there? And I've actually like had to run through the onboarding tours on a few, and there's some interesting ways people are doing it. Like, here's a list of discovered things. You can click to add them if you want, or that type of thing. I think, you know, weighing it based those parameters that you put in the chat are good ones, I think, to look at, and you could also look at it like from a couple other ways too. I don't have strong feelings about. I would much rather us have more than less, because then at least you can turn stuff off you don't want, than like, where the heck is this thing I want to get, right? Like, or why is this not showing up? Like, those are things where if I'm using a product and things aren't showing up, I want to go use something else, because it's not useful if it's not there. And then there's another part too, where it's like, okay, making sure that the swaps are current too, like the available assets to swap, because I personally ran into that recently too, where I'd go directly to I think it was Jupiter or something. I went direct to their site and they had a pair that I could swap that wasn't available, even though we're using the API. So I think I was bubbling this stuff up internally. I know the team's working on it. I'm getting that stuff updated faster, because I think, 'tis the season. It's getting wacky, which is fun, but also, like, gotta be able to pace with that fun for sure. Cool. Nam asks, Luke, what do you think about a mini game on Telegram where they can play to earn a few bat? I think it'll help us rebed the bat group on the Telegram. I think, like, you guys should do that in the Telegram. You don't need my permission. Just do it. Go for it. Experiment. Have fun. Text to image in Leo. I know they've been doing a bunch of things in Leo with different kind of, like, supporting Google Docs and other things. Text to image is definitely one that's coming up. We've been looking at, when you look at stuff like what happened with Gemini, with Google, a natural question that comes up in meetings is like, okay, well, like, where are we at parity with them as far as, like, features offered? And then, like, where can we go market where it's different? And I think, one of those big holes was around image generation, and yeah, the team's working on that. The big thing they wanted to get done is mobile, which is now on Android, and then iOS is next, and then I think that they're looking at other things like that. But then we also had some other things come up, like with Mixtral and some of these other models that when they landed, it got a lot of pickup too. So I think that there's kind of a balance of, like, priorities on these things, but it definitely, I mean, is one that's coming up a lot, and the team's talking about, because I'd love to use it too. I mean, these image generators are rad. All right, let's see here. Harold, how you doing, man? I'm going to put you on the spot because you're here today. How's it going? Look at that. Harold,
sorry, I was finding the mute button.
I know. I almost was like, he's looking for the mute button.
That's going good, man. Just working with we're doing a lot of stuff with anti-fraud and machine learning, so we've been helping them out and getting that going. So yeah.
So when folks are asking about, like, when am I going to get in and phasing and stuff, like, Harold's actually working on trying to get that stuff in place so that we can add more users to this, right?
Yeah. So we got that, and then let's see. We'll see. I mean, just more stuff with the on-chain stuff with Solana. Just tightening down the hatches with that stuff, and everything's looking good, man. But just doing a lot of back-end stuff. Fun times.
Awesome.
Fun times.
We appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, no, it's always good. I enjoy seeing what you guys are doing and listening, and it's. I mean, I like all how everybody is in just different aspects of it, and it's from whether you're doing DeFi stuff or swaps, NFTs, all of that, and so I just as Luke knows, I enjoy the crypto space a lot. Actually would like to see more stuff done on back-end services and integration wise, but these are all pipe dreams. Hopefully they happen. They don't, but I love it hearing all the ideas everybody has, and so I think it's cool.
What do you like about like from the infrastructure side? I know you mentioned Graph a few times and Chainlink a couple of things, but like, what stuff do you see over on that end is really interesting from your point of view?
I mean, for me, it's like I look at like the stuff like I really like what Avalanche is doing. I like Avalanche subnets a lot. I'm really curious to see what happens when they get their improvements they have coming out, where they're up their TPS transactions per second. It's supposed to be like really fast, and they're always solid on that because they believe in finality. And everything being like verified and final. So if they're able to do what they've been doing in subnets and get the TPS up, that's gonna be pretty amazing. I think then it wouldn't be far to see back end applications start doing more stuff, on chain or even off chain, and then presenting it somehow on chain. So yeah, that to me is the exciting part, because especially with all this machine learning stuff, and as we're doing more stuff with machine learning, being able to offer the users to verify, be able to present the opportunity of transparency to users so they can verify how information is being handled, how their information is being handled, and all those cool things. So yeah, I'm interested. It's interesting. I have ideas.
I'll give them that. Like the Avalanche teams, like they were. I got some feedback from folks that were kind of bummed that the rewards weren't on Avalanche. And the thing I told them was like, look, like as we get this stuff out on Solana too, we plan on adding others too, based on a few things like what demand is like from people, and then also like how discussions go with projects. But I think the Avalanche seems like super interesting stuff. But aren't they doing it like Amazon doing some stuff with them too?
They are, but they've been really taking off in the gaming space. A lot of Web3 games have actually been moving over off of Polygon to use them, their subnet stuff, and then speaking of Chainlink, does a lot of demos of their CCIP stuff with Avalanche.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is Avalanche is a very big advocator for Chainlink and vice versa. So it's interesting seeing those parties get together and be advocating for each other, which I like to see, because with all this, you get it, you see it in cloud space where people hate on one cloud or the other because whatever. There's so much out there, opportunity, that you're not really seeing it from these two big players. And so that's what has my respect for them, is like they're doing their thing. They know they're what they're going for, and they integrate with each other really well. Like they play well together. So I'm looking for it.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Really cool perspective. Like, thinking about how you said there were 13 partners on self-serve. Is that no? We're up over 21, and I think like we're doing a few things, like 21 customers on self-serve. That doesn't account for everything too, but I think part of this was like we're adding additional marketing around marketing self-serve out, and there were a couple things there that we were working on. There's also some effort going on right now too to bring on localized support for Spanish and for Brazilian Portuguese first. And I think Paula is helping us out, that Bruno is helping us in Brazil. But I think some of this was around, we did the first like big public launch of it in February, more than doubled the advertisers that we brought on then. And we also like filtered out a lot. So I think like out of that 21, we probably had like more than double of that applied at first to come on, and for different reasons, whether it was like not an actual business or people just trying to kind of get a feel for the platform or whatever, certain advertisers washed out of that. So we're definitely putting some more marketing effort around this and around shaping the narrative like I was talking about. But that's a good question. Let's see here. Bows, you have a hand up.
Are most of the people using self-serve, are they tend to be smaller companies, or does it kind of run the gamut?
It runs a lot of like mid-scale agencies and then smaller companies, a lot of crypto, but then a lot of other privacy related companies too. So it's kind of a mix. And like we actually ran into the first case in February, like where we had about a week left in the month, and one of the advertisers wanted to buy out more inventory than we actually had on the news ads that we were running. So the nice thing is that we're running into this kind of starting to see the good problems on some of this. So like some of these buyers are like scaling up their purchases quite a bit, which is great. Yeah, so but it is a bit of a mixed bag, and I think that that's going to be the case anyway when you've got most ad servers are self-serve anyway, so folks are coming to test it out that weren't here before. But yeah, we're going to be leaning into like, you know, what are those startups, whether it's Web3 or AI companies or whatever, right? Like that where we can get you in and get you buying, but then also like getting it so that they can like test out the new tab takeover, right? Because it was such a high touch unit before that it blocked a lot of customers out. So one thing I've been working with Dan and Steven on my team on is like looking at the process, because we don't want to like, you don't want to lose quality control on something like this. Like it's super important that that the quality's good, but ways that we can approach this as from a different angle to where you almost have like buyers that have these assets on standby, and then like they're already approved and everything, and basically like we can just say, hey, look, like here's a last minute opportunity to buy something, or you know, oh, here are the opportunities for this week or whatever, and start to surface up, you know, updates to them that keep them sticky in the platform and moving fast. I think one thing that people might not realize that aren't in advertising or you know in this world, it's like you either have like programmatic buyers that are buying up a lot of programmatic inventory, but on the other side with brand, it can be like really hand wavy and like long drawn out process for the sales cycle. So one thing that we're looking at doing with this is like trying to kind of cut that process down for like more opportunistic buyers where, hey, yeah, like I have a total budget of this, and well, if there's a chance for me to like spend half the price on something last minute, I'll do it just to see what happens. And did it move the needle? You know, like that kind of stuff. We saw this with managed service buyers in the last bull run a lot. Like I think I did a look back into December of 2021, which was like the biggest month we had with sponsored images. And there was one day in December 2021 where we had 9 different advertisers running sponsored images in different countries on the same day, which was pretty wild. But you know, there's no reason why we shouldn't be getting back to that level, especially with the market doing what it's doing. So a lot of the work right now is like zoning in on like, look, like what are other ways we can make programs or things like this where we can take advantage of some of the opportunities that are out there, because you've got like L2s and you've got L1s and ecosystem plays where people need eyeballs on things, and we can help to drive people there. But then you've also got creators that are trying to kind of grow their audiences and keep people current on what's going on. And so we're in discussions with several of them around like how they can use self-serve to do this. One of them is actually going to like journal their process. So like they're going to make a bunch of YouTube videos about how their process is going with self-serve and promote it out there, because we think that this could be a really good angle too for creators to grow their audiences on. And then yeah, B Crypto saying yeah, the increase in very active users corresponds to the crypto bull peak. It would be smart to increase Brave on advertising to as many places as possible over the next year. That's a great point. I think like it's actually timely you mentioned this too. So we've been working with I don't know if you guys remember Chris Moore. He was joined us a while ago on here, our head of growth. Been working with him and with Shezmin, who's on our marketing team, about like different ways we can approach marketing and growth from new channels, because we kind of almost topped out of a lot of the growth channels we were using before, and there's some pretty exciting stuff that we've been cooking up that I can't really share at this moment, but we had a really good meeting out of this, but it'll get us a lot of that exposure that you're talking about, and it also like parlays into some stuff that the community helped us get on opportunity wise that we were able to put some numbers on the board with. But I'll share more on that maybe next week or as soon as I can. but pretty exciting. We definitely need to get the brand out there more, and I think that now's the time to do it right now. And so we're putting a lot of urgency on that because things are heating up again in the market. I mean, and I even looked yesterday. I was doing a look back on active wallets. I think our active wallets since the 25th of February, the daily active wallets are up like something like 28-29%, which is huge. I think, you're definitely starting to see the market turning, and, I got relatives asking me about crypto again, which is fun. They're happy. So that's good. And Bowser, we were running some ads on Facebook, and then we're running some B2B stuff too, like for the API and for self-serve too, but those mainly on like LinkedIn and stuff. But definitely trying to get the word out more, get more customers on, and then also like getting more, more opportunities for them to advertise like the big guys. Do they ask in interest or are they hating about? Oh, they are asking in interest. I had in-laws, aunt-in-law asked me about Bonk the other day, and BAT and Bitcoin and Solana based in Ethereum. Let's see here. Luke, the swap fee on Brave is when BAT, and all transactions on the Brave wallet use BAT as a transaction center, I think. I'm not sure what you mean on that. There's a processing fee on swaps like 0.875% on there. And I think we waived that on BAT swaps, but hope that helps. We got 4 more minutes. Anybody else have any questions they want to bring up?
I saw that Backpack kind of is working with Wormhole, and it's allowing people to do, more swaps than I would say most wallets would because of that. And also allowing some bridging. Do you think at some point we might have the ability to do bridging directly in the Brave wallet?
Yeah. It's something where I know that Ani and James are working on it, this cross-chain bridging and swapping and stuff. And we actually met with a partner that we closed a deal on that'll help us to bring a bunch of other chain, like cross-chain support through the wallet too. Bridging's key, and people are going to expect bridging to kind of be a native part of wallets. Especially if you look, like if you follow like the Ethereum roadmap a lot, there's like so much bridging involved with all that, and now you got things like ag layers and other stuff going on. So I think these things are going to be more and more important for wallets to support. C-Ray, how you doing, C-Ray?
Hey, I'm all right. I was upset that I missed the majority of this call, but I was like, crap, I'll hop in.
Hey, welcome to it.
Actually, if we have time, I'm going to try to slip 3 things. But one, have you guys heard of Sign In with Solana? Someone had posted asking if that was something that we might be supporting. It's something from this proposing, I guess.
I know that, we did it for Ethereum. I don't see why we wouldn't do it for Solana, but I don't know enough about current status for us to have an intelligent comment on that one yet.
Okay, and so had that, and then the other 2 questions was real quick on rewards.
Yeah.
I still keep seeing people that are saying that they're not receiving payments, even though it's saying to go through. Now, typically, by the time they do the ticket, they're finding out they're flagged. But what's happening is it's allowing them to connect to the custodial partner. It's showing like they're earning, and it tells them that their pay is coming, but then they get nothing. And
Weird.
It's only after they seek support and do the tickets that they're told, hey, you're flagged. I don't like that. I was already complaining about how it was working before. Now this is just like completely ghosting and just lambasting,
Yeah, I don't like it either. Like, I wonder too if, I wonder if how that's going to get handled with on-chain stuff too. I think these are just custodial. Obviously, they're custodial partners you're talking about.
Right. These are custodial. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me check with Chris on if he has an update on that. I don't know what their current issue is, but I agree. I think that's rough UX like for a user.
All
Let me
right.
see what else I can find out about that.
Gotcha. And the other thing, which I doubt you'll be in, been having a lot of people from India complaining because ZebPay is taking longer than the others to get payout.
Oh, okay.
Like it's still pending now where all the others are complete. Do we have any idea what the delay is and if that's something that will get resolved
Let me
anytime
find
soon?
out. I actually met up with some of the ZebPay folks in Denver, and we're supposed to do a follow up. I think either this week or next week. So let me ask them. I'll add that to the list of things to ask them about. Timing on payouts.
All right, awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Those are good. And we're at time right now. Let's see. Desert Crypto Amp. Brave Talk on Android will suspend while listening to talk, even if I have background play enabled. Is that expected? I've run into that a few times, actually. Let me check with Marshall on that and see if he has an update, or I'll make sure an issue gets open for that if one isn't already. But I think there's an issue open for that. Let me check on that one, Desert Crypto Amp, and get back to you. Thank you for reporting it. But yeah, now we're at time. Thank you, everybody. Really appreciate y'all joining the call. We'll be back same bat time, same bat channel 1 week from today. And until then, have fun, stay wacky, and yeah, we'll see you in 1 week. Take care. Thanks, everybody.